What's up, guys? It's Game Fiend of all games here, and it's Saturday. Once again, it's time for me to bring you another drama script to Saturday. And what I'm going to talk about on this video is how I think Cena, why I think Cena is going to put the Authority back in power, and Vince actually apologizing in a sort of way to CM Punk of what all the horrible things that was done to him. Well, you know, the unfair medical treatment and the staph infection that was misdiagnosed, and him receiving his termination papers. Yes, I said termination papers. He was actually fired. His termination papers on AJ Lee's and CM Punk's wedding day. But let's go with the John Cena putting the Authority back in power first. Okay, so the first week there was no Authority. Daniel Bryan was the GM for both SmackDown and Raw. Second week, Seth Rollins comes out and makes a very valid point. He actually says there's going to be a different GM every week. And basically says that no matter what you do the week before is not going to carry over to the week after, because there's going to be a new boss. Which proved true, because the anonymous GM put John Cena versus Seth Rollins in a tables match, and if John Cena loses, he's no longer the #1 contender, which means him beating Randy Orton in a Hell in a Cell was useless. Now, I highly doubt they're going to have Seth Rollins win, because Seth Rollins, well, whenever Brock appears on a Raw or a pay-per-view, Seth Rollins has the money in the bank and he could get his title shot at any given time. Well, when Brock's there. But, you know, Brock's been at home on his couch ever since Night of Champions. Great move, Vince. Great move. But, yeah. So I basically, with that, they basically kind of gave away that Cena's going to win. I don't see why they would have Seth win. I could see to put him over more. But then again, they said then if Cena loses, then a #1 contender would be named at a later date. Which, how later date do you have? You have TLC, then 3.5 to 4 weeks later, you have the Royal Rumble. And Brock Lesnar is supposed to defend the title at the Royal Rumble. And the winner, as we all should know, the winner of the Royal Rumble goes to WrestleMania to face the champion, it still seems it's going to be Brock Lesnar. So in the short span of 3 weeks, WWE's going to come up with another #1 contender just right out of their ass. I don't see that happening. And to be honest, who could be the #1 contender? That would make sense. The only two people right now that make sense is John Cena and Randy Orton. But Randy Orton's off filming a movie. But if they did have Seth Rollins win, the only logical reason is to somehow make Randy Orton #1 contender. But yeah. But you know what I'm saying? It's going to be random every week, and I think it's going to, I don't know who the general manager is going to be for next week, but it's going to keep getting random, and it's going to keep getting more outrageous until the point where Cena is going to have to break down and give the Authority back their power, because at least with the Authority, John Cena knows who his enemies were or how the Raw was going to go. With this, we don't know who's going to be the head of Raw. It's an every week occurrence, and it's random. And on to the Vince apologizing thing. He basically said it's unfortunate that he got his termination papers on his wedding day, but he did say he is opening to working with Punk again. And what I get from that is, I don't think the beef is with Punk and Vince. I think the beef is with the guy that's just below Vince, which is Triple H. Because it seems for years that Hunter and Punk don't get along. And that's a problem when, you know, Triple H has been promoted for, I think he's had this position for the past 2 years or 3, that he's in charge of, you know, talent and live events, and CM Punk doesn't like him. And I think they're not, obviously with this, they're not putting differences aside. They're letting their personal things get in the way, and Triple H said, I don't want to just talk. He just terminated him. If CM Punk made a good point, if he broke his contract on January 27th, why not FedEx some papers on January 28th? Why not? Why would Triple H try to contact him? Punk saying he's getting ready for his wedding. Punk sends him his wedding to say he's getting married. Then coincidentally, he gets his termination papers on that day. FedEx to him. So that means they wanted him to get it fast. But Vince apologized about it, and he said he is open to working with Punk again. But it seems the ball is in Punk's court. Punk says he's lost all passion for wrestling and never wants to come back. Well, we'll see. Before anybody knew of what this story, I was never mad at Punk, because you can't get mad at a person that doesn't want to do what he doesn't want to do, because we as viewers, we have the easiest job of all. We just sit and watch. The most we may ever do is travel to our our local entertainment arena just to watch them. That's it. But I was like, I would give him a year. But now, after all this information, I may believe him that he may not come back. And if he does come back, it's probably more than a year, probably like 2, because he says he's the happiest he is in his life. But that's going to wrap this up for this week's Drama Scripted Saturday. Remember, there's Drama Scripted Saturday every Saturday. Videos usually come out at noon on Saturday. My name is Game Fiend. If you have a question, my contact links are in the description box below, or you can leave a comment here. If you like what you have witnessed, please subscribe. And I'm Game Fiend of all games, signing out. Until next Saturday, guys. Later, and peace.